Hello and welcome to Füssen in southern Bavaria, Germany, the location for the World Curling Federation Olympic Qualification Event 2013. This town is more than 700 years old, and the fairy tale castle of Neuschwanstein is a worldwide magnet for visitors. But for the world of curling, it's not about the sightseeing, it's about this Olympic qualification event. 2 places up for grabs in the BLZ arena, in the men's and the women's draw. And this is our focus on day 3. It's women's draw 4, China against Norway. Joining me for live coverage of the whole game is Mike Harris, 1998 Olympic silver medalist for Canada, and also a well-qualified curling coach. Here are the teams then. We'll catch a word with Mike in a minute. And the lineups: the lead for China, Yan Zhu. At second, Yu Guizhang. Chinese third, Lu Yin. And Binggu Wang is the skip. For Norway, the lead, Julie Skjær-Molnar. Their second is Camilla Holt. The third player, Annalene Skarsmoen. And the Norwegian skip, Marianne Rørvik. And there are the standings so far. China and Japan leading the way on 2-0. Germany in third, 2 games, 1 and 1 defeat. Czech Republic, Latvia and Norway on 1 and 2. And Italy yet to get a victory. Other games going on in the arena: Japan against Latvia, and on sheet D, the Czech Republic versus Italy. And Germany with a bye in this draw 4. So about to get underway, and let's check in with Mike. Mike, you've seen a fair bit of China. What have you made of them so far?
I have. Well, they haven't disappointed. They came in to this event as, in my opinion, heavy favorites to capture one of the 2 spots to go to Sochi, and have played 2 very solid games. They've been very strong in the first half of both games. They jumped out to a 5-1 lead against Germany in their first match, and then 6-1 at the break last night against the Czechs. So look for them to come out strong, although Norway, by virtue of their draw to the button, have earned last rock here in the first end.
Hello.
Early players timeout here for the. No, not sure what's going on. Looks like a time clock.
Technical timeout, please.
So just 1 rock thrown there and a timeout. Something wrong with the handle, Mike?
They have a handle. So what happens is when you turn the rock over to clean it, it activates our hogline sensors, and obviously this has not happened with this stone. So early technical difficulties. Usually one of the ice makers would have to come out and...
It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen.
It does, yes. So 2 options: they can change the handle, or they can put an official at the hog line.
Hva start tiden på nytt? Det ikke så vanskelig, det? Ja, de driver på med PC-en der oppe nå. Se musen på skjermen.
How does this affect the players? Do they just...
Well, good news, it's before the first shot of the game, so shouldn't have a very big effect. So we have a WCF official coming down, and he will stand at the hog lane, make sure the rock was released clearly. Old school, this is the way they used to do it years ago. So.
Well, it works.
It does.
So we're back underway. It's Julie Skjær-Molnar.
The ice makers will be alerted that they have a defective handle. Usually have to change the batteries. It's not a big deal at all.
You can just check it. En kommer ikke bak. Men bra spilt, altså. Det er...
对，等稳力量就行，还是都直一点。
This is the Chinese lead. Yang Zhu. Started curling in 2000, 9 years with the team.
Vi spiller vant eller vanlig? Vanlig, kanskje? Vanlig. Det går veldig rett på den siden her. Det gjør det. Du ser på avtalen våre. Det går kjemperett. Ja. Bra spill.
A little roll to the outside there. And one thing about this Chinese team, they will play very aggressively. They certainly are comfortable taking risks and putting a lot of rocks in play early in games. And given the opportunity to play an offensive shot, they usually do. And
Xinxuan Yu, Chinese second. And these girls have been together a long time, haven't they, Mike?
they have. They all started together and kind of learned how to play as a foursome. 2009 world champions. 2010 Olympic bronze medalists as well, so a lot of experience here.
Yep, and that's why it's probably quite strange for them to be in this position. But all to do with points collected over the last couple of years.
Yeah, they've had some very poor performances at the World Championships the last 2 or 3 years. And it's almost like they were suffering for burnout. You know, I think their answer to having problems to throw more rocks and just get on the ice more. And speaking with their coach, one of his solutions actually to get them throwing fewer rocks, give them a break once in a while.
Just catching the guard there. Norway in their game yesterday went out very positively and very aggressively against Japan. A reminder there of the rules of play for you. 6 ends minimum, 73 minutes for each team, the duration of the game, and the coach interaction. The clock continues to run, and of course you can have those technical timeouts if there's a problem with stones or whatever. But they do have to keep an eye on the time, don't they, Mike?
They do, and we've seen a couple of instances this week where teams are getting down to the last few seconds before their final rock is thrown.
You don't really want to get yourself in that position because it rushes things and decisions might be taken in haste.
So good opportunity now for China to use that center guard, apply some pressure to Team Norway. The line's pretty good. It's a little deeper than they would have hoped. Back behind the tee line. Would love to have that rock stop at the top of the circles. So chance for Norway now to apply some pressure.
Det var 60.
This is their third player, Annalene Skarsmoen, 24 years old. Started curling as a teenager. From Oppdal and lives in Oslo. She's a very good golfer as well, as you find a lot of the curlers are.
Excellent. Like hearing that. Right on the tee line, that's probably a foot deeper than they would have liked. Line was good. Good effort, though, from Skarsmoen.
So just both teams, both players overdoing things just a little bit, just getting the measure of the ice.
Well, first end, yeah, it's difficult sometimes to get a good feel for what's going on out there. So. Need to go for line here. Will it get by? No, and combination, mostly light was the problem there. You see that rock just getting to the top of the rings. Still not a bad situation for China. Those three reds out front can be used, especially the one that was just thrown on the left. I think regardless of where this one's soft, I think you'll see China tap that stone up on the left-hand side. That's on the guard. So here's an opportunity now for Wang to tap that red stone up. She'll play with draw weight. Gentle tap. She'd love to tap it hard enough to move the yellow stone off the button, but really what she's hoping to do is tap it into the 4-foot, cut down the scoring area, and make it difficult for Norway to score 2 here in the first end. Only if the line's perfect will they sweep it hard enough to move the yellow.
All about limiting the points for Norway.
Yeah, in theory, when you don't have last rock, you just like to hold your opponents to 1, and then you try to take 2 when you have the opportunity yourself.
So this is the Chinese skip, Binggu Wang, known as Betty.
She's had great control over draw weight so far in their 2 wins. Another great example. And that does the trick. Really cuts down the scoring area now for Norway. Wonderful shot.
Yep, you couldn't ask for better than that. Very nicely played. And the red's very dominant. Blocking pathways, blocking all sorts of opportunities for Norway.
Norway can come in off that Yellowstone way on the right-hand side. There it is. Just that's the only way in.
Yep, that's what they're looking at.
There is a risk of hitting it too thin. You could actually clip your own yellow out of the way, so Norway needs to be careful here.
Is it worth the risk?
I think so. The key is not overthrowing it. Don't throw too much weight on this. Just throw a nice quiet takeout. Hit it somewhere on the inside. Sounds like hack weight. I'm not. My Norwegian isn't what it used to be, but it sounded like hack weight.
I heard the word hack, and I don't speak any Norwegian. The language of curling. This is the Norway skip, Marianne Rorvik. Started curling very young. She's also engaged to a curler. A pretty good curler. She has 2 children, so I'm sure they'll be good curlers as well. So let's see what she can manage with this one.
Needs to curl. Not quite going to get in there, but
Pretty straight, wasn't it?
it'll be interesting to see what kind of weight China decides to play. They could play a double tap here with a bit of speed and possibly steal one. They're looking at running the one on the center line straight back. Chance to lie 3. So they're going to play it quietly, it looks like. Tap the one on the center line straight back onto their own at the top of the forefoot, move the Yellowstone back, possibly set up a steal of 2 or 3, depending how hard they hit this. Not a lot of risk, even if the angle's poor. I don't know that Norway can make a play on that red stone.
So China in a great position here.
It's an awful feeling for Norway. They're standing back there with their fingers crossed, hoping to get a miss from Team China. And if they do, they'll have a similar shot for 2 points. But it's nervous times here in the first end. Difficult shot, however, for Wang.
She's played a few of these in her time.
She has. Clever that she played it with quiet weight, but she has left a shot for 2 for Norway. Shooter rolled open. She can come through the port now. I think she simplified Norway's life a little bit.
Bit unlucky because it was a good shot.
Had to run a little straighter.
You can see it just going to the side there.
Over curled a little too much. But what she's done, she's left a port. And there's an in-turn tap back available for 2. There's a good look at the angles, but when we get a look at the guards here in a moment, we'll see that there's a good look at it. So with a quiet draw through between the port, between the 2 red guards, the natural line will take it right onto that red stone to the right of the button. So relatively simple shot for 2. It looks quite difficult, but if the line's good,
yep,
this will be made.
So last stone of this first end from Marianne Rorvik, hoping to emerge from this with 2 points, 2 stones, 2 yellow stones.
Will it get by? Underthrown. She had the weight, she had the line, missed the weight, so.
Yeah, and I was more worried about it coming through the port rather than the bit at the end, but so that is a missed opportunity for Norway. It's just the one after the first end. China 0, Norway 1. So we're into the second end of this featured game between China and Norway. Norway picking up 1 in the first end. And will possibly be disappointed after China gave them that little window of opportunity there. And you can't afford not to take these against a team like China.
Yeah, both teams in a way would be feeling a little fortunate and unfortunate. China had a chance to really put the pressure on, just missed, and then Norway, of course, as you mentioned, wasn't the easiest shot, but she got the difficult part down. She got the line, which I thought was the tough part. Was underthrown.
几号？这13秒，这是不是4呀？没有，这面还可以，这面这不罚点的那个点吗？还正常，13秒、53秒、7
This is the first Olympic qualification event of its kind. All these countries playing for 2 available places in the Olympic Games in Sochi. And you've been there in the Olympic Games, Mike, and it is quite a prize, isn't it?
It is. It's you know, it's one of those things where, especially coming out of Canada, I mean, we don't get an opportunity to go to multiple games. I mean, many of these athletes have been to multiple Olympic Games, so it's, you know, for me it was very much a life-changing moment to get to, you know. The nice part about it, these athletes will play in many curling events with other curlers, and the beauty of the Olympics is you spend time with so many other athletes from other sports, and of course I think representing your country at an Olympic Games is a thrill for anyone.
Yeah, very, very special. So that's what they're after. Czech Republic against Italy. Let's get a wee update there on sheet D. First end.
This is Anna Kubaskova. This is her, it's like a shot for 2 points. It's a hit. Called and made, so a good start for the Czechs against Italy, who've been in tough here so far. Still looking for their first win.
The Italians found it tough going at the Europeans 10 days ago as well.
Very young team, junior team, looking, speaking with their coach, they're actually hoping to peak for the European junior qualification event that takes them to the World Juniors. So they're getting invaluable experience at the Europeans and at this event.
So it's maybe just a step too far at the moment.
It's a bit of a reach, yes, to think they would come through this field.
Against this caliber, teams like this who've been world champions.
Missed opportunity there to put some added pressure on Norway, looking to put a second rock in behind that guard and coming up a little light. Looks, yeah, she looks surprised. Problem is too, she did open up shot stone, so a hit's available now for Norway.
Camilla Holt for Norway, their second player. She's also a golfer. Her sports hero is Dordi Nordby.
Former skip, I like that. It's unusual for a teammate usually to
especially their skip.
to make their own skip their sporting hero.
So
but,
you're saying your skip wasn't your hero?
Well, I was always a skip, and I'm sure I wasn't a hero to my teammates, but
I'm sure you were, Mike.
well, we'll go with that, yes.
She was a bit of a player in Norway for sure, though, wasn't she?
Oh, Dordi, a 2-time world champion, yes, and a fierce competitor. And before Andrea had played in so many world championships herself, Andrea Schupp from Germany, I think Dordi held the record for a number of years. Multiple world medalists. There's an update over on the Japan-Latvia game, first end. Japan with a steal of 2, looks like.
Yep, they played well yesterday.
They're a very impressive team, actually. We commentated, Logan Gray and I commentated their game against Italy, and they were just solid up and down the line, all 4 players.
Didn't make too many mistakes.
No, well
What I
coached.
gleaned, yep. And made the right decisions at the right times. But this is our featured game, China against Norway. And really at this stage, teams really need to be making a bit of a push, don't they, Mike? You know, this is kind of getting to the middle of the week. And
well, it's a short round robin, so every game is critical. You know, you cannot afford to lose. Two is as many as you'd like to lose, and it's actually mathematically possible that only one loss will make the playoffs. So it's difficult, certainly. And, Norway already up against it here early. 3 losses, you have to think your chances have gone. Really well swept. A couple yellows hanging around the back here now for Norway. So China's going to be forced into taking a single point worst case scenario, or best case scenario, and perhaps steal might be in the works, but very comfortable situation for China with 2 guards out front and rocks behind the tee line. That's generally a good formula to score multiple points. Norway needs to be a little bit careful here with this hit. Potential jam at the back of the 12-foot. Needs to hit this on the center line side, roll underneath the guards. Well done. You'll see China ignore those 3, I believe, and use one of these guards. Talk briefly about hitting and rolling off that outside stone. So when you know you're going to be forced to score, it's best to play a come around is an easier shot than playing a hit and roll for these teams on this ice. Guard, you do not have to get particularly close to the guards as the rock's curling by. You can miss the guard by a good 6 or 8 inches and still get the rock buried. You need to keep this outside the center line. The guard is touching the line. Just by. Perfect shot. Needs to stop. Over curled ever so slightly. There is a port between those 2 guards, the yellow and the red.
Yep, you see the line there. It's just a bit too far over.
It's a tight guard though, or tight port, excuse me. This is the easier shot, as mentioned. The come around's an easier shot on this ice. I've not watched Marianne skip before, but this is a good call, good instincts.
So Annelien Skars Moen. And I hope will execute the decision.
Line looks good here. How's the weight? This looks like a great shot. Fantastic. Perfect.
Yep, and right up beside the red. Makes it very, very difficult.
Yeah, China's got to be careful with that stone. That stone is well protected and very dangerous position for the Chinese. They'd be happy to have the situation stay the same the rest of this end. So they're looking at coming through the port here and hitting the yellow stone, hitting what they can see on the right there, right where Betty's broom is. So high degree of difficulty here. But if she does get through, the shooter should roll over to the side and stay. And they think the red might be driven back onto that stone at the back of the 12-foot. So you may see both reds stay in the rings if she gets through the port. Very, very difficult shot, however.
To be so accurate here. Absolutely no room for maneuver.
Needs to curl a little. Perfect shot. Shooter didn't stay, but she left her own red counting 1, and that was a great shot.
Yep, good result.
Couldn't have hoped for better, really.
And although it was pretty straight, there's a lot of skill in achieving a shot like that.
Yeah, there's only a couple centimeters on each side coming through that that port. Wonderful shot. So again, Rorvik now is going to have, she's forced to come around the center guard, and she has to be careful that she doesn't do what we saw from the Chinese team and have it over curl and back into that port again, where Wang can come in and lie too. So look for the draw to miss the guard by more. You know, you need to miss the guard by a good foot to leave the stone buried in the house. If you get by the guard just too tightly, it will over curl into the open. And of course, she needs to get shot stone, worst case scenario. So a little more room by the guard, so this should be good for line. They can get it there. Nice shot.
Couldn't really have done much better there, could they?
Maybe an 8 open on the outturn side.
Let's check on sheet D, Czech Republic against Italy, second end. Czechs 2-0 up. Once again. Italian skip.
Saponi, the Italian skip. It's hard to see some of the rocks in the rings. I don't know if this is a blank attempt or just trying to get one, but it looks like she's trying to roll out. Does it get there?
Or
It
does
stays.
Yeah, it's just nibbling, isn't it?
An unfortunate one for Italy there in the second end.
Italy hoping for a blanked end and retaining the hammer and trying to get more points the next end. Back to our feature game, China against Norway.
So you can probably see 1.5 inches of that yellow stone on the in-turn side here. So Wang is trying to throw just backline weight, hit what she can see, move that yellow off the butt.
Similar line to the previous.
It's pretty close. Beautiful touch here from Wang. What a great shot. Is that going to get far enough to lie two? Wow.
Yep, what a result.
Cannot overemphasize how difficult that shot was. Beautiful touch. And we've seen that. You know, Betty's been the best player on the sheet for both her games, both wins. So whenever her team did get in a little bit of trouble, she was able to bail them out and just continuing her stellar play. That was a difficult shot.
And to actually make sure that she's got two counting is
That's fantastic.
good stuff.
Marianne's got to be thinking, what do I have to do here? Made a perfect freeze on thirds last, made a great come around on mine, and we're still in trouble for 2.
So what can she do to try and get something?
Well, she needs to hit this stone, and she wants her shooter to roll right back in behind the guards. Ideally, even if she rolls in front of that group of stones on the right-hand side would be nice, but certainly needs to roll. Worst case, she'll give up the deuce here, which isn't the end of the world, obviously, but just needs to curl a little bit. Looks like she's got a nose hit and even rolls outside. So anything you can do, I can do better was the message here from China. Some great shot making from the Norwegians, and China had the answers. Draw for 2 available now for Wang. Expect her to be close with this. Just needs a piece of the 8-foot.
稍微小一点点。
And we would expect Betty Wang not to have too many problems here. She's been playing very, very well.
Now, the only challenge for Wang is that they're going a little wider, so they may not quite know the ice as well as they might in another spot. But we've seen a couple of freezes here, a couple draws, so she will have spoken to her sweepers about what they need to do. The sweepers have had great judgment of the weight as well. Sweepers don't seem too concerned. Good all the way here. Right on the tee line.
There it goes. And the other one counting also for the Reds, for China. Good result for them at the end of the second end. After 2, it's now China 2, Norway 1.
13秒7。
你们现在必须要相信这个场地带也带不了多少，得往上找。
So we're into the third end of our feature game between China and Norway. Women's draw in this Olympic qualification event, the first of its kind. 2 places at stake in the Winter Olympic Games in Sochi. And this team, China, going very well indeed. 2 wins already, and playing some really nice stuff, Mike, in this game.
Yeah, wonderful shot making in the second from both teams, in fact. So, you know, Norway would be a little disappointed they gave up 2 points there, but they can be comforted in the fact that they themselves threw a couple of wonderful freezes and draws late in that end. And as mentioned, Wang and Liu, the skip and third for China, just made better ones, in fact.
So how are they faring on sheet C? Japan against Latvia, second end. 2-0 to Japan so far. And let's see, Latvian skip with the final stone. Iveta Stasa Zorsuni.
And Iveta, we've touched on this a couple of times. Iveta's a really, really great draw player. If she does struggle on the hits. And this is a blank attempt that is nosed again. So disappointing single point for Latvia in the second end, giving up the hammer.
Early days, but 2-1 behind. Latvia with 1 victory so far. China with 2, Norway with 1. Every game, as Mike said earlier, counts. Every game matters in this short round robin.
Yes, 3 teams make the playoffs. Top 2 teams play for one of the 2 spots in the Olympics, and then the loser of that match will play the 3rd place team for the 2nd spot. So if you finish in the top 2, you get 2 chances in effect in the playoffs to qualify for Sochi. So huge advantage if you can finish on top of the heap in the round robin. Nice freeze there from Yanzhu.
Shermola for Norway.
Supers got cut out a little bit there. They weren't sweeping that. They could have gone all the way. Love to have tightened up that freeze, being that far apart. It's not great. You might see Wang play the. She can play a guard, which is a little bit risky when you're up 1, but that yellow can be promoted.
Is that an indication of confidence?
Yeah, I think. Well, it's just it's a mindset, really, more than anything. Okay, let's put pressure on and you know, conservative play. They're playing a little angle raise on their own red guard is actually a pretty simple shot. So I think they've got it in their mind. They're going to be a little bit more aggressive here early in the game and continue to apply pressure instead of chasing. This is a mistake, however. This was supposed to be well up into the rings, and the problem with that now for China is that once I think Norway needs to deal with that stone hit, there'll be 3 yellows in the rings, and throwing the guard becomes even riskier. Camille Holt was on a silver medal winning team at a world championship back in 2004.
Yep, she has a lot of experience. The oldest member of the team, going back to the World Juniors in 1998. First major event.
Now Wang's got to deal with these yellows somehow. She's going to hit the 1. She has the option of playing a double on the 2 yellows if she'd like. She's comfortable with that other stone at the top 12-foot, clearly. Very nice. Norway's going to try to remove both those red guards, hit them right in the pocket, leave their shooter directly in front of the yellow. Then it's decision time for China. Lovely shot here. Moves things in, or moves them around, and now that is a very lonely red stone on the butt. Wonderful shot there from Camilla.
Yep, well played. Such a good feeling when it works, Mike, isn't it?
It is. So I always joke around. The key's not acting surprised when it happens, is it? You know.
I planned that.
Yeah,
I planned
exactly. I'm not sure what Wang is called here. I think I missed it, but it looks like she's hitting that outside red stone. Again, risky. The problem stones for her right now are the two on the center line. They're easily lined up for a double tap. Goal here is to lie to. The problem is that there's not a lot of place she can roll to and not either leave a double for Norway, or allow them to play a tap, and that is the worst case scenario where she doesn't remove anything.
Yep, that was not the plan.
And now there's a chance to hit in lie 4 here for Norway early in this game. So
disappointing from Liu.
and again, this all goes back to that original call of the guard. Again, taking a risk where with a 1-point lead, you don't really need to get in too deep. And we saw that happen yesterday in the 9th end versus Czech Republic, 5 up. Drawing around corner guards, end up giving up 3 points and letting the Czechs back in the game. So overly aggressive perhaps. And now they may pay the price here in this 3rd end. It's going to require a couple of decent shots here from Norway and a couple of missed doubles from China. But this is not a great situation.
So can Norway apply the pressure here? Annalene Skarsmoen.
This is pretty close. Will it over curl a little? Again, same mistake there from Norway, not removing that red stone. The good news for Norway, however, is that they have opened it up and their 4 rocks are still in the rings. She knows she was so close. Just trying to nose hit this. I mean, if I'm Wang, I'm tempted to throw this pretty hard and try to hit it on the center line side, have the shooter roll over to the left towards those 2 stones at the side of the 12-foot. But I'm trying to hit it right on the nose and stay frozen on one of the yellows, the top yellow.
Is this all to do with power?
No, it's more of a precision hit. They want to hit it right on the nose, and see, that was the problem by playing that on the nose. That kicks open that Yellowstone, and there's again another double available for Norway to lie 4 again. Only good news for Wang is the 3 yellows over on the right-hand side. There's a couple of pretty simple double opportunities for the Chinese skip, but she's still in danger of giving up at least 3 here.
So Yinlu, 2 stones, not making too much of an impact. But Norway have to still make it count for them.
They do. They need a double. Looks like it's over curling.
So just the 1 goes.
Still scary for China.
She's not too unhappy with that.
No, I still think Wang knows she's still in a bit of trouble here. She really needs to double the 2 yellows off that are in the 4-foot. The risk, of course, you hit it on the outside on the broom side. You could drive it back onto your own red, so she has to be a little careful. So what she's looking for, dead on the nose. Chance to lie 2. And you can see the risk. Just hit it a little bit on the broom side, a little too high. You could drive it right back onto your own and leave Norway lying 4 and throwing. So, critical shot here.
They've done their bit, and they're pretty happy.
Well, and they're letting us see the shot too, which is nice of them, I think.
Yeah, we're watching, guys.
Big shot here from Wang. This is not a good sign. This is really curling. She's hard pressed to make contact with the top stone. Oh, wow. Horrible shot there from Wang.
And after such a good couple of stones in the last end, that was bad news for Wang and China.
Well, and now it's really a big decision to be made. So once Norway, I'm giving Norway a hit to at least lie 4, perhaps 5. Hit and stay for to lie 5. What will China do to cut down their losses? Do they play a double? Do they play a freeze? I think a freeze would be a little bit of an aggressive call, but they need to play some sort of double and roll their shooter over to the right-hand side in front of those stones on the right as we're looking at it. So
It really was a bad misjudgment by Betty Wang.
not even close, you know, really had to kill one of the yellows, worst case scenario. She was concerned, I think, about that shot we discussed, hitting it on the outside, driving it onto her own, but she overcorrected with her release. All of a sudden, could be into this for 4 or 5 points. I think at this point, you're actually thinking, you're hoping you might only give up 3 or 4. That's desperate times here for China.
How quickly things can turn in this game.
And again, it all goes back to that guard again. You know, just that getting into that mindset of being aggressive instead of playing conservatively with a 1-point lead.
When they review this, will they go back to that and understand that?
Well, it's a combination of 2 things, right? They actually didn't make that many big mistakes, you know, middle of this end. It all really came down to them, you know, making that mental choice, and then we've had 2 misses late in this end, obviously, that cost them. But
what a great position for Norway at the moment. Look at that. It's all about the yellows for Norway and damage limitation for China.
they're looking at freezing, actually, which is I'm not sure where you can freeze and not leave a shot for 4 anyway. I think you throw some weight at this and see if you can get rid of 2 or 3 of those yellows. I think you hit it a little bit on the broom side, just right of center. Could drive the yellow back into the 2 yellows in behind, and then the shooter might roll over and get lucky on the right-hand side there as well. I don't know, see, there's any good freeze opportunities here for. The angles are so good for Norway. There's nowhere really to draw where they won't have a pretty simple shot for 5 or 6.
If you were to set this up as just to indicate to people how difficult, how can you get out of this?
Well, you can't. I mean, she's hoping to give up 4. You know, the damage is done already. You know, I don't know that you can actually leave yourself in a position where you can't give up big ends. So the damage has already been done here, and they're actually risking now giving up 6, which would not shock me to see this. Even if she makes this draw well, there's going to be either a little short run back available for Rorvik for 5. Or a peel for 6, so this is tough situation.
Yeah, you'd much rather be those 2 at this stage.
Yeah, good to be yellow at this point. The best result here for China would be to perfectly freeze right on the nose to that stone on the left of the center line. That is as good as they possibly could do and might limit the damage to 2 or 3. Maybe.
So let's see what Betty Wang can come up with. Important shot.
The weight's in the ballpark. Just question what type of angle she leaves here. So got shot stone, that's the good news, but to hit that stone between the 2 yellows there is actually not that tough of a shot. It's not a very big port, but it's there for at least 5, and if you can save the shooter, perhaps 6. The key for Norway is just driving it through cleanly. He said it's not the easiest shot in the world, but she hits it even a little too thin and hits the stone on the left, back of the 4-foot first. It should spin right through there and score at least 4.
Yeah, still a decent channel just to get rid of it completely without touching anything
It's there
else.
for 6, yeah, for sure. So I just said if I think we gave her 4 right now, she'd take it.
Yeah, yeah.
But as long as she's somewhere close to the no, she should score at least 3 or 4. Just left of center, broom side of center. She wants to make contact, drive it through, and score a surprising 6. You can tell. Look at the intensity.
Yeah, this really would be a great Christmas present for Norway. Especially against a team like China. Last stone of this third end.
Big weight. It's over curling badly. Wow. Wow. That is unbelievable. Hugely missed opportunity, and China dodges a massive bullet here. It looks like yellow did score 1, but what a break for China. My goodness.
This one is out.
It might not even be 1 here.
Shocking
For Norway.
turn of events.
Absolutely. Just when we thought, how many for Norway? Who would have thought?
Well, I mean, that anything on the outside, she actually crossed the face. Anything on the outside would have resulted in
So
4
if you're
or
going
5.
to do it, err on that side, aren't
Exactly.
you?
And that's, you just saw that release. She kind of pushed it, just it was gone immediately out of her hand.
It's almost like she knew it was so close to, and yet, incredible stuff. And that could well be the turning point of this game. They
Well.
might look back at this end and think,
What could have been, for sure. Looks like it's yellow. I mentioned to Logan in Logan Gray in one of our earlier telecasts, I never get it right. So if I say it's yellow, it's probably red.
all right, I'll remember that. So Mr. Measure comes out.
I get 1 right every 2 or 3 years, though, so this may be it. It would be a shame not to get at least 1 here for Norway. It's yellow, and China won't. They're not even anywhere near. They're happy to give them 1. So disappointing result for Norway, although they did get their single.
Hugely disappointing. She's still smiling though. After 3 ends, China 2, Norway 2.
It's a brave smile.
Yep, that's a sore one. If you're Norwegian. So time for Norway to regroup after that disappointment of the third end. China against Norway, our featured game here at the World Curling Federation qualification event for Sochi 2014. Round robin action here in the BLZ arena. Alison Walker, Mike Harris bringing you live commentary on the whole game. And we've seen a bit of everything so far. What can we expect in this fourth end?
Well, the comforting fact for Norway, the only comforting fact after that miss, is that they're playing very well. You know, they really made a series of good shots there in both the second and third end, but you cannot afford to give up opportunities like that against a team like China.
Yep, these girls got away with it there.
Oh, and China's breathing just a huge sigh of relief here in the fourth end. It's a big emotional pickup for the Chinese team, knowing that they could really be down at this point, 6 or 7 to 2, playing the fourth end. Instead, they're tied with the hammer, and it will relax them quite a bit. But they have to understand they need to make more shots as well. Norway's giving them everything they can handle right now. Perfect guard. In the free guard zone, may not remove that stone. We're talking about release there. You see just kind of indicating a movement out away from the room from Julie, and that's just talking about why that stone didn't curl as much as her first one. Important on a good team to take responsibility for your throw and share with your teammates what you think you might have done.
Yanju.
Yan struggled a little bit with her second stone here so far this game. This looks a little better though. Should get buried.
She's another very, very fit girl playing for China. Swimming, mountaineering, short track, speed skating. I don't know when she gets the time because there's an awful lot of training involved in getting to this stage in curling. Fitness is a huge part of the game now though, Mike, isn't it?
It is. It is. Games change a lot. Even, you know, once it became part of the Olympic movement, it really changed how curlers viewed the sport themselves and, you know, the perception of others too. I mean, it's brought in a whole new audience to the game. And, you know, wait until Sochi and you see this Canadian men's team that we're sending over. These guys, they look like bodybuilders. They're so fit, incredibly strong. Really, they're changing the way the athletes in Canada are preparing.
Yep, same with the world over though. The other athletes from other countries are in great shape. The Swedes are in great shape.
Norwegians as well, yes.
And the GB boys too.
It's a full-time job for many of them. Well swept. See, sweepers breathing hard, going end to end. Good cardio workout.
Sweeping has been developed as an art form as well, hasn't it? It's a really crucial part of modern day curling at this level.
Well, strength is a huge part of it, but also judging the stone is something that's really difficult, and the teams need to work on a regular basis. You know, the sweepers can make a difference of in the women's game probably 2 meters, and in some cases 2.5 meters depending on ice conditions. So when you have that range of error or success as a thrower, you know, the sweepers have a huge impact on where rocks end up stopping. So you know, the sweepers, it's not only about strength, it's judging where they think they would like the rock to go.
And we see even more in the men's game. The Swedish sweepers are...
It's about a 3 meter difference, to say, in the men's game, just due to size and strength. You know, just they can apply that much more pressure with the extra weight. So, you know, but even said it's changed a lot with the fitness levels of these athletes. And also the equipment, the brooms are lighter, the heads they're using are more effective. Heads on the brushes themselves.
Yeah, like in all sports, your golf clubs for golf.
Yeah. A lot of research being done by the manufacturers to produce equipment that makes a bigger difference. Nice touch there. Moving that red Chinese stone from Team Norway. But comfortable situation now for China. Corner guards up, and look at the sea of rocks over Japan, Latvia as we update
yeah, that is a very busy house.
This is the last rock of the third end for Team Japan. It's hard to count them all in there, but it looks like it's a shot for 2. Wonderful draw there from Hayumi Ogasawara to get her deuce in the third end, take a 4-1 lead over Latvia. She's pretty happy with that.
Yep, she's having a good week. Japanese skip. Back to our feature game. China, Norway.
China was trying to corner freeze that yellow stone, and after they realized it was going to go too far, they tried to sweep it by that yellow at the top 12-foot and just rubbed it, left it open. Quiet weight tap back again required from Norway.
Oi, oi, helt vekk, helt vekk, helt vekk. Nei, på altså. Nei, ruller ut. Ja da. Derfor jeg er på det. Derfor jeg er på rent, skjønner du. Så.
It's well done. Leave China another opportunity to play the same shot. Freeze on the inside of that stone at the top of the rings.
Så jeg må bare litt ned på fart.
Ja, men det er bedre.
Liu, the third. China. She's also a speed skater. These girls all from Harbin in China.
Just got caught out again, 4 or 5 inches too far. Again, they say the precision required from the sweepers to judge that probably, you know, for Yin, she could not have thrown that rock much better. And the sweepers, again, that's how critical it is to be a good judge of sweep as well as being physically strong. Sweep that probably 5 or 6 feet less on its path. It would have stopped perfectly corner frozen. However, big miss there from Norway.
From Annalene Skarsmoen.
Looked like it was a little heavier than her first one, a little more weight. Didn't curl as much.
It looked very straight.
And threw it through the break.
You know, if you'd been trying to throw that through and not and avoid those stones, you probably couldn't have done it.
It was difficult, yeah. I mean, and the problem was, I mean, she just threw it on her first one, so you expect to make it just as easily on your second stone. So, but the difference there was the weight on the first one was a little bit lighter, allowed it more time to curl. So China now with an opportunity to split the rings and have a chance to score 2 here in the fourth. Sweepers are, again, they're not really touching it much. Needs to stay in the 8-foot in the white circle. Will it stop in time? Looks like it will. Well done. Looks like it's partially buried as well. I think.
Yeah, there's a bit of it.
Just discussing how much they can see of the red. There's a good look. The one on the left sits maybe an inch buried, which is just in the line of vision of the Norwegian skip. And with the guard on the right-hand side being much higher, they can miss the guard by 3 or 4 inches with quiet tap back weight and easily remove shot stone. No real double available for Norway, but what they're hoping to do is roll towards the center line, leave an angle, and then if Wang actually hits out on the nose, she might leave a double on her next stone. So Rorvik just hoping to stay here. This hit, quiet weight tap. Save the shooter.
Marianne's tournament accuracy, 75% for her accuracy. The skips are really looking to be in the 80s, aren't they? Like
they are. I've noticed that it seems that this event, the scores are being tough. You know, I think a 75 to 80 in that range seems to be a pretty good score right now. So I've not seen many players above 80% any of the games, but perfect roll there from Marianne. Shot stone near the other red, the Chinese red stone, and again, Wang's gonna have a difficult time not leaving a double takeout of some sort for Norway. She may elect to play a freeze. In fact, she's gonna put it, but if a freeze would be a good option. She wanted to make sure she had a shot for 2. So what she needs to do is make contact with this yellow and roll her shooter towards the center line and try to get some separation between the 2 red stones. Leaving the shooter right there will leave a pretty simple double available for Norway. Trying to create as much separation between the 2 red stones as possible. So in turn hit. for Wang. Nice clean release.
She's also 75%, despite those couple of poor shots in the last end.
Well, she had an open hit, miss, but she threw a nice draw. But here we go, leaving the two reds right beside each other. So pretty easy double here now for Norway. She can hit either stone first and easily make the double.
Betty was just looking for that to roll a bit further over.
As far away as possible is what she was hoping. So even if she hits the stone on the left first, she should easily kill both red stones. The only way to really miss this double is to have it over curl and hit the one on the outside too thickly. May not move that red stone closer to the center line out of the rings. So. And her last hit was an in turn. This is an out turn, but she will give this again her that extension. She needs to throw some weight on this. We'll watch to see if she gets a little bit better release in this, Marianne. She turned that last hit badly. That hit for 6 she had in the third end. She'd like to throw this a little more cleanly. See extension. There we go. There we go, a lot of weight. And look at the shooter spin. The sweeper should be on that, getting it over behind the corner guard. Now a little better.
I'm just so overjoyed that she made the shot. That's all they could think of.
They're a happy group. That's good to see. So China now with a draw for 2, or excuse me, draw for 1, but this is the exact same spot Betty threw her draw for 2 in the second end, so expect her to be close. Just needs full 8 foot. It is against 4. Not a difficult shot, but you know, there is
work to be done.
A few of those yellows in her line of vision here.
So last stone of this fourth end from the Chinese skip. Wang.
Sweeper's on it right away. Looks pretty good. Just cleaning it in there now. And another draw to the tee line for Wang. Gets her 1.
Very nicely played. Secures the point for China. And after 4 ends, they take the lead. China 3, Norway 2.
Ja, fin double. Det var kjempe. Ja. Det var
Let's check out Japan against Latvia so far.
Yeah, Japan's up 4-1 here as they play the 4th end, and this looks like a hit for 2 for Latvia. Well swept, and will stay around for the deuce. So Latvia tightens things up a little there on sheet C.
Yep, getting back into it. 4-3, tight game. As is our featured game in the BLZ arena here in Füssen, Germany. In the mountains we are, in the Alps, and inside this wonderful ice facility. There's the numbers so far. All adds up to a 3-2 lead for China so far, going into this 5th end.
So again, another solid end there from Team Norway. I thought they've played, you know, 3 really good ends in a row, and not a lot to show for it on the scoreboard in the sense they should be up, you know, 6-2 or so, or 6-3 at this point, but
you know, Mike,
they're comforted by the fact they're playing well.
Would have been easy. It would have been easy just to let that play in your mind, losing all that, those numbers, those scores that you could have had. It's important to park that and just move on.
Well, and I've said this before. It's important as a skip to have a short memory. You know, whether you're making shots or missing shots, you're only as good as your last one. So, you know, a good skip will just kind of put that behind them and move on. And Marianne.
And maybe use the positive side of it. As I look at the position we were in, we can make that happen. We can create that again.
Well, they're comforted by the fact they're playing very well. You know, that's the nice thing for them. That 3 ends in a row, really, they've really taken the play to China, in my opinion.
The first some questions on Bing Wang and her team. Can they keep it going?
That's a pretty fairly significant miss there. Left a second corner guard now, so China's going to be throwing a 3rd guard or a freeze, depending what they would like to play. But centerline getting rather busy here early in the 5th end.
Yu Xinshang, 2-time Continental Cup winner from 2008 and 2012.
Lovely shot there. Got to the inside, corner frozen, left the center guard.
Over to sheet D, Czech Republic against Italy. 5th end, 3-1 to the Czechs at the moment. Italy are right up against it.
This is a draw against I don't know, a small bucket, I think they're they're drawing against 5, it looks like. And look at this raw curl.
Gives you a good idea of this ice.
Over curls badly, and it's light as well. And that's a steal of 5. 8-1 for the Czechs, and kind of a cardinal error there with all those rocks at the back of the ring. She could have thrown any weight from draw to back line to hack and certainly scored her point. So struggles continue.
Yep, hard week for Italy. But a very young team, and
they're in deep in this field for sure.
And learning as they go along, but it's still sore when things like that happen.
Back on our sheet. Double was made, but a guard remains out front, and China's got a chance to get another one here. Looks like they're looking at playing the exact same shot again, another in-turn come around. Really piling on here in the 5th. Could throw a second guard as well. Good option here actually would be just to come around that yellow guard and leave your own rock just short of the rings. Definitely do not want to wreck. Does get by. Perfect shot. 4 lovely stones to start this 5th end for Team China.
3 of them all in a row there. And it was close.
Got by the guard tightly, and again, you cannot afford to do that on this ice with the amount of swing we have. So comes, you know, half open on the out-turn side this time, but better option than wrecking, that's for sure. So it looks like Norway's playing a big weight shot on the stone that was just thrown. Best case scenario here is you remove 2 of the reds. The stone in the middle, the red stone in the middle, virtually impossible to remove with this rock on this angle. Big weight shot here from Camilla, and only get really rid of 1 of them, and it was the result we could have predicted. Had hit it thinner to get rid of 2. So again, good situation here for China. the out shot here for Norway, the way to get out of trouble is to actually play a wide draw on the out-turn side, on the right-hand side of the sheet into the forefoot area. So we'll see how Marianne reacts to this come around again from China. Might be a little early to try that shot. Might run the yellow back again. Part of the fun of curling, predicting what your opponents might do next.
Yep, always thinking 3 or 4 shots ahead.
Line's good here. She's throwing the second guard out front. Lovely touch. There you go. They're going to run this yellow straight back. So I want to hit it right back onto the red, just underneath the broom there of Marianne Rorvik. There's a good look at it. If she can actually run it straight back onto the red at the top of the rings, should get rid of the 2 that are in the house at the moment.
Again, needs to be spot on.
So I think China will place this one more time. And you saw Marianne Rorvik indicate to her teammates that we could do this. We could play that at draw we talked about earlier. So we'll see if now we get down to thirds final rocks, whether Rorvik wants to take a risk and see if she can figure a way to score 2 out of this mess.
Yep, China definitely in a better position at the moment.
By committing to this shot, however, you are going to give Norway that opportunity to use your own red stones as guards and play the draw. So if you're China, you actually would like to bring this guard in fairly tight to the rings. So it's a pretty good shot there. Might be a little too tight, simplify things for Norway. So you can drive that red straight back now pretty simply. Tempting. Could get all 4 reds moving.
And there is the Chinese coach, Marcel Rock.
Marcel Rock, 3-time world champion. A great Furby foursome. One of the best teams ever to play the game, in my opinion. And Marcel's brought a lot of, you know, he's hard on this team in terms of what his expectations are from them, but it's nothing that's unrealistic in terms of their past performances. But you know, he also has brought some levity to the team. You know, I've seen this team smile more than they have in the last number of years.
Yeah, they've been quite serious.
And they've relaxed quite a bit.
And they've had a few Canadian coaches, haven't they?
They have. Dan Raphael notably kind of took over this program, the Chinese program, back. I don't know exactly what year it was, but led them to that World Championship in 2009 and bronze medal in Vancouver. So, and Betty and her team actually lived in Edmonton for a number of years. They were on the ice for 6-7 hours a day at the Saville Centre in Edmonton, Alberta, home of Kevin Martin, Olympic champion.
And that is the place to get the experience and the quality of opposition, certainly.
They opened up a lot of eyes, to be honest, in Canada when they first started. You know, they were the first real full-time curlers out on the ice 8 hours a day. People thought they were crazy, you know, and it was certainly changed the way the game was played. But their success certainly thought, you know what, there's something to this, and you, again, getting to winning a world championship in 09, that was kind of the peak, and then that bronze medal in Vancouver, of course, was a huge coup for them as well. So now you see a lot more teams kind of becoming full-time athletes in order to compete.
Yep, they've seen the difference that it's made. Let's see if Annaline can make a difference with this shot.
She can get all 4 reds moving if she hits it somewhere near the nose. Only really gets 2 of them going, and so now those guards at the top 12 that Marianne could have used, you're going to see Wang feed her into the forefoot. So
I thought she hit that pretty cleanly. Why didn't they move a bit more?
They had hit it on more of an angle and just try to, you know, the top 2 would have spread out a little bit better if she hit it more on, you know, one side or the other. In fact, she dead nosed it and left all the top 2 stones in a row. was a little unlucky. She threw a lot of weight though, but it's always good, in my opinion, if you're coaching a young team, to be the first team to play the aggressive shot around the guard. So may have been a good opportunity there for Norway to beat China to the punch, so to speak, to get around into the 4-foot area.
To show your cards, make your statement.
And Wang, again, has had great control of her draw weight this entire week. We've seen 2 examples of it, or 3 examples of it already in this game. Beautiful draws made in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and right to the button. And here's another one. Perfect line. Would love to have had that come another foot or so.
Yep, nicely played. As we catch up on sheet C, Japan against Latvia. 4-3 Japan in the 5th end.
This is a draw against, looks like 2 or 3. You saw that Latvian stone in the top 4-foot. Latvia tapped that stone in, and their shooter actually rolled out of the way. Had their Vetta's last rock curl a bit more, Japan would have had no shot at all to score. As it is, it's a very difficult draw for one.
Yep, it's a very, very busy area approaching.
A lot of rocks in play in this game. Every time we look over, it seems there's a sea of granite. This needs to sit. Steal of at least 1.
It could be 2.
Possibly 2. Definitely the one on the right side is shot stone.
And players,
what do you think, Alison?
Players often decide themselves, don't they? And they're very fair about this, but I think I am erring with the red. Oh, no, it's 2.
I think it might be 2. I was just hoping you had an answer. I didn't know myself. So.
That's why we have the measures.
Traditionally, I'm wrong. I know that I've mentioned that before.
But it's a very fair sport. That's the point I was making, that the players are very honest.
And it's interesting, again, I brought this up in one of our other shows, but, you know, in my opinion, you know, players go all season long measuring their own stones, deciding what's going on at bonspiels all around the world. And only in events like this do the officials actually get involved and actually do the measuring. And it's my little pet peeve at this event, because if we ever had a situation where the rock got moved or kicked or bumped, we've seen it happen twice already where the players have kicked stones here this week. If the official kicks it, then what happens? You know, at least if it's a player, the non-offending team will get the benefit of the ruling. But I'd prefer to see the players actually do the measuring. But was a big steal of 2
anyway,
there.
now you've got that off your chest.
Got my piece. I've said it once before. You know, I usually bring it up once every 2 or 3 games. But Latvia did steal 2. They're up 5-4 now at the break.
A bit of a turn in fortunes in that one. In our feature game, though, it's 3-2. China up against Norway.
But nice draw from Rorvik on her first. Got shot stone, but it is partially open. But this is tight. Need to get by the guards here.
The other side this time.
Just by. And rolls buried. Can you imagine? I can't believe that got to the inside. I think if
Whisker must have just a hair.
Just got by. Watch this from the front on view. Wow. About a centimeter by, and sorry, it was really difficult to have that roll too far. If it rolled, you know, a half a rock less, I don't think that Norway could actually score. But as it is, again, another very, very difficult draw for Rorvik. She has to get a piece of the button in order to get a single point here. Tough shot. And all of a sudden, this is the first time we've really seen where China's dominated an end. And we'll see if Rorvik has the answer. Wang was able to answer Norway's call.
So Rorvik under pressure this time. Last stone of this 5th end. Norway hoping to claim 1 point.
Line looks good. It's up to the sweepers now. Will it curl enough? Will not. And Wang will steal 1. So a big point there for Team China.
Yep, disappointing for Norway. It wasn't far away. Under pressure. China now extend their lead after 5. China 4, Norway 2. The guys heading into the 5th end break.
So in the second end, a couple of great opportunities, great shots by both teams resulted in a draw for 2 here for Chinese skip Bingyu Wang, and makes no mistake as expected. Throws this right down to the button, and China took a 2-1 lead after 2 ends. In the third end, dire straits here for Team China. Open hit for 6 potentially here for Norway, and the release extension was pushed across the face, and China dodges a huge bullet, and after a measure, Norway only scores 1. Could have been 5 or 6 there, but only ends up tying the game after 3 ends, 2-2 at that stage. On to the 4th now, and a well-played end again from Norway. Lying 4 as Wang came to throw her last. Exact same spot she threw her draw for 2, however, in the second end. So, former world champion knows she's going to be close here. Again, lovely touch shown right back to the forefoot. Takes a 3-2 lead into the 5th. And after 5 ends, another steal of a single point, and China leads 4-2 after 5 ends.
And in the other matches on sheet C, Japan 4, Latvia 5, 6th end. And on sheet D, Czech Republic 8, Italy 1, the 6th. So that one more or less over. Italians still without a win in this Olympic qualification event. And as we discussed, though, a very, very young team gaining experience and moving on from this, hopefully. So there's the Chinese having a chat about what's happened so far and what lies ahead from Marcel. Let's listen in.
Keep pushing together. Now we're kind of in a control spot.
现在我们连续2分第6局，现在我们控制比赛，从局面上控制比赛，大家还是在出手，对那3项做好。Okay.
And you know what? I knew they would play well. So expect them to keep playing well. And it's just for us to just bring it up just a little bit more. Just a little bit more and just hold it, but don't try. Just concentrate on the nicer, more consistent release, and you'll get better results.
今天呢，对方打的相对比较不错，咱们也看得到，所以我们只要我们
Marcel does need to work through an interpreter to get things up, but you heard him talking about his expectation from Norway that they're going to play well. So, right on the money. It's been a good, solid first half of the game for Team Norway. And they're unfortunate, really, to not be leading in this game.
Yep, they won't be too unhappy with the way things have gone so far. What's the best kind of sustenance at this stage? Is it chocolate? Is it sweeties?
For me, it would be chocolate. For me, it would be chocolate. But, you know, it depends on the team. You see a lot of fruit picnics out there sometimes. The fruit basket comes out. But looks like we've got apples and energy bars there from Team Norway.
It is a long time on the ice, so they need the energy levels right up there. There's the stats after the first 5 ends. You know, not too much to choose between them.
Very
China
even.
slightly ahead, yep.
Very even.
And that's pretty accurate from what we've seen.
Well, China's been the more fortunate of the 2 teams, I'd say, at this stage. That's been the difference, really. They said they easily could be down 6 or 7 to 3 here at this stage with that miss in the third end. But against a team like China, you cannot afford to give points away, and that's Norway just needs to keep plugging along and keep playing the way they've been playing. They've played, said 5 pretty solid ends here so far. That 5th end really was the first time we saw China put any sort of pressure on Team Norway. And Rorvik was close with her last draw. It was a very difficult draw to the side of the button.
Yep, they've
Just
done
missed.
too much wrong. So let's get this sixth end underway for you. The World Curling Federation Olympic qualification event. We're live in the BLZ Arena in Füssen in Germany. Southern Bavaria, an absolutely gorgeous part of the world. But no time for any sightseeing. This is what it's all about, and it's all about getting to the Winter Olympic Games next year. We're focusing on China against Norway. Tight game, 4-2 to the Chinese. Alison Walker, Mike Harris with you, bringing you live commentary.
So the key here for Norway, just to throw, they need to throw a couple of guards out in play and try to create some offensive opportunities. And conversely, China will look to keep play in the rings and see if they can't force Norway into taking a single point here. Try to lie two.
They've just got to keep in there, don't they? They've played some good stuff.
They have played very well, actually.
But Norway really need the win more than China.
Yeah, one and two, yes. I mean, as we discussed earlier, 3 losses is you start needing help from other teams. So it's not in your own hands anymore, and that's difficult. Difficult position to be in. Two nice shots there from Chinese lead, Yan Chu.
81%, stats going up. She's played some nice stuff, actually. Pretty accurate in most of her shots.
She had wonderful control over draw weight in both of their previous victories.
And if your lead's playing well, then generally the team's playing well.
Well, it simplifies your decision making, which is nice, right? You know, you always seem to be putting pressure on your opponents, and rather than chasing all the time, you can continue to play some aggressive shots, and that's always the better feeling as a skip, is that you're the one that's dictating play.
Julie Sherwell now on 72%, but a little bit less. Same as Shuang Yu.
Yeah, she had 2 misses in the that end. They almost gave up the 5 in the third end, and this is not going to stay if hits it at all. So she seems to be struggling today. Part of the reason Norway's had some opportunities here in this game.
Might not be too crucial at this stage.
So Marianne Rorvik, MIA here. She's just coming back onto the ice surface. May see her jump in and sweep. Now she's getting some help with her microphone down at the far end, but so Camilla is going to throw this one with only one sweeper. Got to go to get by, and only having one sweeper there actually did make a difference. May have been wise to wait for Marianne.
Pick the right moment.
Here she comes now back onto the ice.
Go down to have a look to see what happened.
Problem is with time clocks running, you know, it's unusual after the 5th end break. You know, the teams do have 5 minutes to do whatever they need to do, and so rough start here for the Norwegians here. China hitting again to lie 2.
Norway had this
better throw here.
False start at the start of the game as well.
Okay.
So still not a horrible situation here for and another sea of red for Zapponi to face. I'll venture she won't come up light on this one. I'm going to bet after giving up the steal of 5. I'd like to see how many reds are in play here. This is draw against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who missed? Good one there for Italy, though, however.
Yep, that will give her a little bit of a lift, I'm sure. Get the confidence building back again for Italy. They do get a 1 there, and that takes it to Czech Republic 8, Italy 2 after 6 ends. That's rather half-hearted high fives there, but it's been a difficult week for them so far.
Yeah, I said they're in over their head a little bit, and the same thing at almost worse at the Europeans a couple of weeks ago in Stavanger. But invaluable experience for this young team.
Lou, the third, 82%.
She's been solid both of their wins as well. So the guard is the call here, but this is close to overcurling. You have to keep it about an inch on the left side of center to guard it perfectly. It overcurls a fair amount, actually. So Norway now with an opportunity. 3 guards, thirds last stones, and they've got a chance to play some aggressive shots here and see if they can't figure a way to score 2. Down 4-2 in this 6th end.
Spill en rolig vant, da.
Rolig vant.
Ser det bra ut?
Ja, prøve der.
Okay.
Discussing the ice call and what weight they're going to throw.
Good stats from Annalene Skarsmoen, 88%. She's the best so far.
She's been solid. Got to go to get this by the guard, though. Don't think so.
Usually when we say how good somebody's been, something like this happens, so...
I'm glad I'm not the only one who does that.
Put the jinx on her.
They're such a great draw player, and they throw their draw through the rings. I've done that a few times this week already. But another opportunity for a guard here. Looks like Wang was giving her third a little more ice, so Yin Liu with the outturn guard attempt again. Line looks a little better this time. It's hanging it wider. Sweepers at the end will take it for line. They said they're looking to get it about an inch from the center line to be a perfect guard. How's that? An inch from the center line. Perfect. Perfect guard. The only downside for China is it's very high. And with the amount of curl we have on this ice, Norway can get at shot stone on the intern side. There's a look at it from the front. Perfect guard, but too far up, really. They would have liked to have that rock travel another 4 or 5 feet for weight.
Okay.
So we know where the guard is. It's an inch from the line. Will it get by? Perfect shot. Here's the curl now. Nice shot. Made that look pretty easy, actually. So Wang with the intern hit available. She's going to try to roll to the right as we're looking at it. Not a very big port between the red guard and the yellow guard on the right-hand side, so even if she rolls a little too far, certainly add some pressure to Rorvik's next shot.
80% game accuracy for Bingyu Wang. She's played some really, really nice shots.
And difficult shots as well. You know, the 2 she made in the second end was just, particularly her first shot was just a wonderful intern tap.
Yeah, great finesse.
So unable to make the roll there.
So where are we with Japan and Latvia? It's been quite a tussle between these two.
Has been, and you know, we talked about that difficult shot that China made in the second end for their 2. This is a very similar shot. Japan's got to play a quiet weight tap on that Yellowstone, push it past their own stone at the back of the rings for 2 points. Certainly makeable. Second shot at the back 12. So we'll see if Ogasawara can make big point here for this team after giving up a steal of 2 in the 5th end. Would love to get the deuce right back. This is wide. Got to curl a long way. I don't think it's going to make it.
It's curling a little bit now.
And that'll be another steal here for Latvia. So Latvia surprising Team Japan at this stage.
Yeah, Japan a little bit off the boil on that one. 2 wins so far.
And back on our sheet, a perfect hit and roll from Rorvik. And that is exactly what she asked for. Look at that again, inch from the center line. This is exactly what we talked about earlier with the guard. But we did see the Norwegian third, Annelien Skarsmoen, get to that shot stone fairly easily with a quiet weight tap back. And that's the only comforting thing now for Bingyu Wang, knowing that stone is completely buried, that her stone, if she throws it quiet enough, will curl in there nicely. But putting some pressure on. Another solid end here from the Norwegians. They just got to continue along this path. So far, Wang's answered every question. And quiet throw. Nice clean release again. Starting to move now. Will she have the weight to get it out? She hit enough of it. Beautiful touch again from Wang.
Great finesse and just in the release and the turn. And
so difficult. She makes it look easy when she's on her game.
allows herself a little smile.
Been really impressed with her. You know, I've back when she was winning back in 09, I good fortune of commentating on this team, but you know, I didn't really appreciate it at the time. I've seen them 3 times already this week, and they're just so confident and calm, and all 4 players are solid.
Marianne Rorvik, she's been pretty solid today too, 78% for this game.
The one notable miss, you know, that shot for 5.
I hope she doesn't go to bed tonight thinking, why oh why? And
blank attempt, sounds like it's on the nose. It is, so. The disappointing single, trying to blank. So she'll give the hammer back to China here in the 6th end.
Yep, they get 1, not really what they wanted. After 6, China 4, Norway 3.
然后呢，如果说就是正常他站位，然后咱就选气，然后呢看一看，然后呢主要不要他让投分就行。
7th end of this featured game between China and Norway, women's round robin, World Curling Federation Olympic qualification event. There's the numbers so far. They don't really tell the story of the game because the big moment really was in the 3rd end. But the bottom line is it's 4-3 to China, who have the hammer. I'm hoping to build on a few points in this end, that's for sure.
可以是降点速度。我学。13秒6。
It's maybe a foot deeper than China would have liked. Came right to the tee line. Yeonju just talking to her sweepers about how it ended up there. Didn't sweep it much, however. So freeze now is the call from Rorvik. So needs to curl. Just, the weight wasn't bad, just didn't take the curl. And she's saying, I threw it perfect, what happened?
Ah, you curlers. You're all the same.
Yes, that's sad truth. Sad truth. Blame the stones, blame the skip, we'll always find a way.
Blame the ice. Blame the spectators. I'm like that in golf.
In-turn tap here for China to try to lie two. This looks pretty good. Lovely touch. Again.
Back to the Czech Republic against Italy. 7th end. The Czechs 8-2 up.
They're not lying 5 or 6 here in this end, so there looks like a draw against one Italian stone buried at the back of the 8-foot. So I'll venture and say this is the first pressure shot Anna Kubeskova's had in a few ends anyway.
End 5 was the sore one for Italy.
Does get by the guard and draws for her single. So takes a 9-2 lead into the 8th end.
I guess they're just debating what's next.
On our sheet, Norway was trying to get at those two reds and wrecked on the guard. So chance now for China to lie 3 early in this 7th end. China would love to take a deuce here at least and really seize control of this game as we head into the last 3 ends. It's not light. Will it stay in the rings? Yue is really struggling today in this game.
1 or 2 now. She's just not got quite right.
Missed opportunity there for Camilla Holt. Looking for the double. So again, China can use this corner guard again. Shaking her head and talking to the skipper. So chance actually for 3 still in play here for China. So the theory is you go around the corner guard. You expect Norway would hit the open zone, then you could go around that corner guard again to lie 2 buried and try to score 3. So, but in order to make your 3, you need some shots made. This is really curling. Will it get by? Looks pretty good. Beautiful line. Needs to stop now. A little better shot there. May have come open on the outturn side, but still quite good. Good look at it. Really missed the guard by an inch or so, and the rock as it dies really finishes hard, and it's about half open on the outside.
Yeah, you can see it from that angle. probably a bit more than we thought originally.
Key here for Norway, though, is they must stay here and not allow China to go around that corner guard again.
Da går jeg inn på isen igjen.
Wang wants to get this right out of the rings. He
It's
does.
gone, yep.
So choice here for Wang. They can go open to the other side and really secure their 2 points, or they can go right where Betty's indicating. Just go around that corner guard again, lie 2 buried, and all of a sudden Norway is in danger, giving up 3 points. So kind of a textbook way to score 3. You know, use that corner guard once, get the opposition to hit the open one, and then you go around the guard again. Nice that swings.
Does textbook curling work?
Sometimes, not often, but sometimes it does. But if you know, if you're coaching a team, that's how you score 3 points. Is you use the guard once, and you need a break, you need a roll like we got here, and now look at the situation: 2 buried, and Norway under severe pressure.
Yep, nice position for China. So they followed the plan.
And especially when they're down 1 without last rock here in 7, they can't afford to give up. Even 2 is damaging.
Yep, so it really does depend on the situation you are in the game as a whole.
It's time for a chat.
Men allikevel så ligger hun I en dobbel der, og så må hun dra motsatt, og så slår vi
Down comes Anneline.
Men da gir vi hvor vi spiller.
And I'll need your help on the Norwegian here. Can we get a translator, please?
Well, I think how you assess it as a coach, what you would say. I think
Well,
that's what we're
there's 2.
interested in.
Is that my job? I didn't know.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
I mean, you're the coach of Norway.
There's
Here.
2 choices here. You run back the yellow and try to make the raids double, or you could try to corner freeze to the inside of the one that was just thrown. But both shots have high degrees of difficulty, and that's what they're mulling over right now.
But if you had to choose one, what would it be?
It's a team choice, really, at the end of the day, and it's which one do they like going to?
They feel more confident with.
Right, and it's really just comes down to, I think I'd rather throw this shot. They're looking at the run back. The interesting thing for me with watching Norway throw these big weight shots is it seems a little out of control. They come out with nice balanced hides and they really extend and push the rock pretty hard, and they seem both Marianne and Anneline, as they let the rock go, they tend to really wobble as they make their extension. So we'll watch for this in the release. That was a little smoother throw there. But it's hard to be accurate when you're coming out with that amount of speed and then extend again. It's just really difficult to get the rock online. So 2 choices here for China as well. If they wanted to really put pressure on to score 3, they replace the guard. And if they content with trying to get 2, they throw it open and allow the double takeout to be attempted from Norway. So Norway still, of course, has to make the double. But this is the shot that will almost assure them of a shot for 2 points on their last. And with, again, a 1 point game, you'd love to score a deuce here. If you happen to miss the guard, you leave the double, you may only get 1.
It's all to do with the stage in the game, really.
Hey, a lot of times, yeah, the call is dictated by the scoreboard quite often. So they'd like to keep this about a foot in front of the tee line. Sweepers again with really good judgment. Perfect.
They're looking at trying to get the 3 then.
That's a shot to assure themselves of at least a shot for 2. They're allowing Norway now to play the double takeout on these 2 on the left, and that, Marianne will have a pretty good chance of making that. But regardless, China will have a pretty simple opportunity for 2 points, which is all you can really ask for at the start of an end. I think if they had to score 3, the choice would have been to throw the guard, replace the guard. But they don't have to score 3 at this stage. Double's not a gimme. She needs to hit it on just right where the broom is actually, or just a hair to the right of center. If it over curls, the stone will be driven back at the wrong angle. Shooter will roll to the left, and China still might score 3. Must be close. Sweeping it. Well done. And that was always the risk by China, throwing it into the open. Shooter rolls out of play, so simple shot here to lie 2. Good double. But Norway now hoping for either a missed draw here or for Wang to miss her last hit and roll out perhaps, or miss a draw. So, but pretty good shot.
Yeah, cleanly hit, and both the reds disappear.
还是5区跟那并排就行，行。
Again, watch the sweepers. They want to keep this even in the house. They don't want it to come too deep. Again, a foot short of the tee line is perfect. Again, that nice clean release we've seen from Wang all week long.
点线很好啊。
我不知道给没给上啊，5区
这只是力量。
OK， 主要是力量啊，下了 OK。
Sweepers on and off it.
OK， 只是力量啊，5。看力量，看力量。5区平。
I say a foot short of the tee line exactly, so there's no double available. That exactly the same depth into the rings as that other red stone, and lovely touch. Good judgment by the sweepers.
Minst fare der. Ja.
Du kjører vanlig. Da holder jeg med å kjøre之后往下扎了特别大。
Vi må litt på innsiden.
So key here for Norway is they do want to roll into the 8-foot and force China into playing a hit. We've seen Wang make every draw she's looked at this game.
Ja, vi må rulle litt.
So a nose hit where where China can draw to the 8-foot. I think we'll see the draw played. There's no way that Wang would play a hit if she doesn't have to.
Jeg spiller litt løsere, tenker jeg.
Ice level view.
Få se hva vi ender med.
And again with the big extension. Perfect shot, actually. It's just rolled enough, I think, and will force China into playing a hit. Certainly close enough where it's worth a look.
Det så ut som en plutselig begynte å skjære. Det var derfor jeg ropte. Det bra kosta.
I think you're more likely to get a roll out from China than you are for her to miss a draw to the 8-foot, so mission accomplished there for Rørvik, forcing Wang into the hit, but you still expect the world champion, former world champion, to make this. Pretty simple shot.
So things going very quiet in the arena as we watch the last stone of this 7th end from Binghu Wang. Chinese skip.
Needs to curl. Will it stay? Does not, and there's the break that Norway needed and holds China to 1 point. So pretty significant miss there from Wang.
That has made it very interesting indeed going into the 8th end. Norway still very much in this game after 7. China 5, Norway 3.
Ja, men det er det hun har gjort på de andre. Ja, men så fint. Bra.
Ja, det var
Nå kan vi få spise litt sjokolade.
Ja, jeg har begynt å ete nøtter ennå.
Altså, denne veien her begynner på, altså, i det du treffer linja, så begynner det nok å køle mye mer, men det står rettere litt lenger ut.
Ja.
Liksom herfra ut står det rett.
Greit.
Ja.
Greit.
Det var derfor vi missa.
Det er fint. Oi, 8. Fint. Tar oss 2 nå?
Ja, vi må gå
Da har vi
for 2 nå.
husk på oss et par omganger.
Det er ikke sånn at man må gå liksom over.
You're watching live coverage from the World Curling Federation Olympic Qualifier event 2013. We're in the BLZ Arena in Füssen in Germany. We're in southern Bavaria, actually, a beautiful part of Germany. But this is where it's all happening. These teams vying for places in the Winter Olympic Games. Women's round robin and our featured game, China against Norway. Alison Walker, Mike Harris with you. Great to have your company for an intriguing battle, actually, between these two.
It's been very well played, and both teams have had opportunities, and we saw China with a surprising miss there from Wang. Did mention it's a little more difficult to hit and stay on this ice with the big swing, but I still didn't expect that China would roll out of play there and only get their single point in 8. So a real boost of momentum actually for Team Norway. So theoretically now down 2. They'd like to score 2 here in the 8th, hold China to 1 in 9, and try to score 2 again coming home to win this game.
I'm sure that's the plan, but I'm sure there's an awful lot that can affect that in the next 2 or 3 ends.
China would like to steal about 4 here and put the game out of reach at the same time.
And that could also happen, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of curling.
Yes.
You never know till it's over. There's a comparison of the leads. Anju has played in outstanding fashion today. And Julie Shermona hasn't played that badly.
No, she's being outplayed though, but you know, we said we've seen a few good solid ends here from Norway. They need one here. They need a good 8 shots made and have a chance for multiple points here. Starts off with a nice freeze attempt, and this looks pretty good. Perfect line and weight to match. Quite good. Good sweeping, girls, she says.
Important to encourage and compliment your teammates, isn't it?
It is.
Keep them going. Keep the confidence levels up.
Freeze called here as well from China, and didn't quite get to the face, but the line is excellent, and Norway's got some decisions to make here. Need to open things up a little bit. There's UA only at 63%, out curling her opposition, Holth at 58, but really quite low numbers there for both players on their draws in particular. 54% for UA and 50% for both on draws.
Let's take a look at our other games in the arena. On sheet C, Japan against Latvia. 6-4 to Latvia at the moment. And the Japanese skip with the last stone.
Trying a double takeout here on the, hitting it on the high side. But they actually hit that on the wrong side. I don't know they've been coached on the drag theory or not, but if they hit that rock on the other side, they would have actually pulled the yellow stone away from their own. And another steal, however, for Latvia, and Latvia taking control into the 8th end, up 3 points. Critical game for the Latvians. They're only 1 and 2 right now. And
Japan 100% record, so that would be a bit of a turn up for the books. The other teams wouldn't really be expecting them to.
No, a slight upset for sure.
It just shows anything can happen in this game at this level.
Back on our sheet, the guard was replaced by Team China, and Holth will play the peel again. And kind of worst case scenario for Norwegians there. Left the guard. And didn't move anything in the ring. So Another chance for China to put a second guard up, and mercifully handshakes over there on sheet D. The Italians,
They managed to pick up one.
they got one in
the
8,
final,
but
yeah. But they were up against it from that 5 that they lost in the 5th end.
steal, yes.
A sore one. And the Italians still without a win, but the Czechs move on to win number 2 for them. So 2 games remaining in the arena. Our feature game, China, Norway, Japan against Latvia. We'll keep you updated with that one. Really all to play for in our game though, Mike, that's for sure.
Definitely, and if you can look at the stats again, Liu 83%, that's kind of standard fare for her so far this week, been pretty solid. Anneline's had some very difficult shots, the Norwegian third. Just played pretty solidly, 71%.
Do the stats take into account difficulty or just whether they make them or not?
No, just made shots or not. There is a system that is available with that brings in degree difficulty, but that's not being used here by statisticians here. Having said that, it's important enough to just to get an idea of what shots we made. Nice double peel there from Norway. That'll bring her numbers up a little bit. But, still a little bit of work to do yet for Norway to make that stone at the top of the 4-foot count, that yellow stone in the middle. China will continue to throw guards down to third final stones. And not a lot of time left here for Norway. Need to get this close to the center line. They're sweeping this for line, not for weight. Just walked over there enough at the end, I think. Norway could theoretically play a hack weight shot on that stone at the top 12-foot, quiet tap and save their shooter. That's the call. They can hit that red stone in the top of the circle, top of the blue circle, save their shooter over on the wings. That all of a sudden becomes one lonely red stone at the top of the 4-foot, and China would need to be careful again not to give up a multiple score. Come down, have a look. Anneline discussed this with the skip, Marianne Rørvik.
Du får ikke dytte den ut da, vi kan kanskje dit da, det hjelper jo ikke noe. Nei, da legger vi bennen igjen. Og drar inn en ny gard bare, og så må jeg smelle Gud vet hva jeg må smelle inn. Men hvis jeg prøver å smelle inn der, ja, men det ikke vært noen stykkegarn, så den helt krise. Men ja, selvfølgelig der, vi kan jo prøve å dra et frys der. Det blir skrått, og så rykker alt da. Men gjør en skitt da. Tror vi må prøve å komme rundt her, prøve å flytte den, ja. Ja, jeg tror faktisk ja. Hvordan fart vil du spille? Skal vi kjøre gjennom fart bare, eller? Jeg tror ikke vi får dytte den ut uansett. Skal vi godt kjøre gjennom fart?
Just discussing the weight. That much I do know Norwegian. The word fart is that's a weight call, how much speed they want to throw. So backline weight, hit half a rock. They'd love to stay for second shot or third shot and leave that one lonely red stone at the top of the 4-foot. So fairly difficult shot. The good kind of missing it on the pro side would be to rub that red guard out of the way again. But it's getting late in the end. They really need a made shot here from Anneline Skarsmoen to put some pressure on China again. Line's great. Will they move it far enough? I think they really need to hit that a little harder. So you're going to see China now throw another guard.
That's a bit of a shame because the line was very good.
Line was perfect. I think they need to throw, hack weight, get that stone out of play. And then this situation becomes much more dangerous for China. The Yellowstone on the center line can be promoted. The Yellowstone left could have been promoted into perhaps lie 3. So it's a much more comfortable situation for China right now, throwing a third guard now on shot stone. And they do have the kicker, the saver, over on the wings. That really reduces their risk here in the 8th end.
这行跟中线稍微有一点的距离也行，
贴着中线就行。这个球是我觉得我贴着中线，我压着点中线都行，而且我不能让它中间穿过去，是这样，我觉得这个球。
Still having a little discussion just before she.
Just talking about the weight and the ice that they're taking, and most of Wang's shots coming this direction, the even ends have been on the other side of the sheet. So the question often you have for your teammates is the speed the same over here? You know, how much weight do I need to throw to make this shot? And they've tried to clarify things for the skip.
点线 OK 啊，
确保进圈啊，
确保进来，但是顶线带着点儿，顶线带着点儿，顶线带着点儿，已经出弧线了啊。Oh.
Need this to stop in a hurry. Just stops in time. There is no raise on the yellow available. Norway's looking at raising that yellow guard out on the wings.
It's comparisons of the skips, Mike and Wang. 61%, but
Terrific actually out curling her percentage-wise.
A
Little surprise there, but again, it comes back down to that one shot in the 3rd end. If she's only missed one clean shot, that was it. I'm not sure how many points she would have received for that either. Because she did score, she may not have been penalized. But we're looking now at a red, yellow, red combo. They're going to throw the quintuple raise.
Yep, this could be interesting.
So see the 2 reds. They want to drive the second red back onto their own yellow on the center line and get it moving towards the pile. Need to be pretty precise here, obviously.
Nei, på den analysen, jeg trodde den var så hard at jeg fikk dyttet av det andre når den først kom så mye, skjønner du? Ja, jeg trodde liksom at den kom til å dytte den I hvert fall på 12 fot.
Nå det din stein nå da, Bertha.
Ja, det var I hvert fall det som var tanken, på at jeg ikke tok den. Fordi jeg tenkte, da får vi liksom dyttet den kanskje gjennom. Det døde jo det både, ok. Vi må sette den ordentlig. Ja,
so Wang's guard, they were hoping for Wang's guard actually to hang a little bit more to the right side of center line, and that this shot would not be available. Not that it's an easy one, but it's makeable. This needs to curl. Fair amount actually. So if you're China now, what is the shot that hurts you the most? And you want to take that away. Yeah, a little frustration there.
Yep, and
So again, how important are lead stones? Well, that rock at the top of the button is the first rock thrown this end. The one that's frozen is the second rock that was frozen that's thrown this end. It's been there. The situation hasn't changed.
Yep.
So when your lead can control their draw weight, keep the rocks in front of the tee line, really puts pressure on your opponents. Looking at the run back, that red, yellow combination up the middle. The good news for China is that red zone and back in the back left, as we're looking at it, in the 8 foot, will be second shot. So it's actually only a shot for 1 for Norway, the triple raise in a line up the middle.
再找的话，
那就把这边站上吧。
我找的话还
So
是相比有
just
角度
Wang
的
just
话。
figuring out what to throw. They're just going to throw another guard out front, and I think the only real option for Norway would be to play the draw. They don't think they can score more than one. They could play the yellow on the left side of center line. They could get fortunate if they hit a quarter of a rock, that top yellow. The one they send in may go over and clip the red at the side of the 8-foot. That might be their only opportunity for two. We'll see what Norway is looking at here. But anything up the middle, up the center line, there's only a shot for one, I believe.
点线很好啊，
猜一猜。1、2、起来。
Again, low stress
擦一擦，顶线
end
带着
here
点啊，
for
顶线带着
Wang.
顶线带着点就行。
Center guard, a couple freezes, and they've thrown about 6 more cards. That's all they've had to do this end. No pressure applied at all by Norway. So, Norway, recognizing the difficulty of the situation, are simply going to draw for their one, it looks like. That's what they're discussing anyway.
Da kommer vi dit. Gå utpå her, da. Der.
Not a lot of choice.
Fordi, ja, da skal vi ha plass, altså. Må bite.
So massive point here in the 8th end. Norway can be 1 down, which is again well within reach as they go into 9 versus 3 down.
Bite foten. Bite den der innerste ringen.
Against a team like Wang from China, 3 down, play 2 ends to play, you're in dire straits.
Nei. Ja. Ja. Ja, din var 80 som gikk inn der. Mulig vi må vente litt på den. Ja, 75. Ja.
Brooke's been close with her draws so far today. This will be up to the sweepers to get it really, they need to be very precise. They only got about one square foot to throw it through here.
So last stone of this 8th end, what can she get?
This is heavy.
Can she apply the pressure on China?
It is heavy, won't take the curl, unfortunately. So this will be another steal of 1 for China.
One red.
China turn the screw on the Norwegians. Miss chance. They've played 8 now, and it's China 6, Norway 3.
然后完了进行打击打，然后完了清球的时候注意点出手，控好力量啊！来，1、2，加油！
Just one other game going on. It's Japan against Latvia.
So this looks like be a hit and roll here for 2 or 3 for Japan, maybe 3 if they can roll to the right spot. Down 3, playing 8. Critical shot. There's 2 for sure. Will it stop? Rolls about 2 inches too far, and only a deuce for Japan, but gets them back in the game.
Yep, they've played 8 now. It's Japan 6, Latvia 7, all to play for. 6-3 in our featured game, and I wonder if that mistake in the last end was the one that could be the turning point.
Yeah, 3 down, they need a deuce right now. Norway has no time to wait.
So if you're Norway, what are you thinking in this?
They have to take some risks, right? And they need to throw some guards and take some chances. And you know, scoring 1 is not enough. They, you know, to steal 2 realistically would be too big of an ask against Team China. So they've thrown a single corner already. They'll likely throw another. and then see where the chips fall as the end plays out. They're actually going to play a T-line tap, which is fine as well. So the goal here is to tap that red stone at the top forefoot back on a bit of an angle and create a pocket, get the two reds side by side. So we're looking for T-line plus. This needs to curl a mile, however. Way out there. And the key for Norway is to keep rocks in play. So, although that's not the call, it's fine. China will have to deal with it. They'll have to hit it, or they can peel the corner guard in there. That's what Wang's looking at. Peel the guard is the thought, and then Norway will come into the rings and they'll leave them a shorter double, perhaps, to really put this game out of reach. A funny release there. This might not curl enough. Just enough. So again, Norway coming into the rings. Going to play another tap on the other side, the other turn, and this is where it gets dangerous for Norway, that the rocks start getting closer together and simplifying the double opportunities for China. China, the best hitting team in this field.
Certainly much rather be in Chinese shoes at the moment than Norwegian shoes.
Der må det gå! Fin retning! Ja, på retning! Ja! Kom igjen, kjempelinje! Kom igjen, ta i! Kom igjen!
Got to go to get by their own.
Kom igjen, bra!
Does. Perfect shot, actually. Wonderful shot.
Yep, it was close, but they're pleased with that.
The goal is not to leave a double. They have not left certainly not an easy double opportunity for China. Wang is just indicated just to peel the top stone out of play. Again, realizing they're lying two, Norway has to make another play on shot stone. This is curling, however. They might make it a little easier for them. No, it rolls out away. It's a good shot. So Norway still needs to make a move. The problem for Norway is the angles that are lined up on the front, that yellow-red-red combination down the center line. The middle red cannot be removed with one shot. It's going to take two plays on the center line stones to get shot stone. So this forces things into the center again, and again simplifies the double chances for China.
They will get to the point where they're running out of...
It's getting late, yes. We're down to thirds, first stones for China. Now here's, again, didn't really leave a double, which is fine, but chance to lie through. There's a thin double, which is very difficult, and Wang's looking at it right now. She needs to hit less than a quarter of the one that was just thrown. But she's actually looking at hitting the other shot stone. Chance to lie three, and then again, difficulty for Norway is they have to then probably throw a hit at this stage. Yin Liu. Nice roll.
Vil du spille vant, eller vil du ha?
Vanlig holder.
Ok.
Nei. Den går nok ingen steder uansett. Den går dit og dit uansett på fart.
Ok. Vanlig, da.
Vant og kjapt.
Vant. Ok.
Kanskje vi får noe fint vi kan fryse på?
So interesting shot here. Interesting angle set up for
Det går ganske rett, gjør det ikke?
China. So Norway can actually hit this stone on the left side of center as we're looking at it. Kill two reds, roll the shooter over, and again, separate separate their own stones. That's the goal.
Jeg ser den. Rent. Rent. Nei, vekk. Helt vekk, helt vekk. Helt vekk. Følg med den ut, Jule, så kanskje får den bak. Skal den bak.
Needed to stay.
Nei, ikke kosen.
Again, decent roll. Still no double available for China.
Spennende.
If the double's attempted off that shot zone on the center line, it'll be driven onto, China will drive it onto their own.
Kan bli moro.
And that is a problem.
Ja, for jeg så ut at det var 3.
So Wang, understanding that, is going to hit the outside yellow. Roll, try to roll again in towards the middle. You just see the challenge for Norway though, trying to get their two to count. So precise. Need to be so precise.
Such a significant end, this one.
Another great shot. Actually may have helped Norway's cause there. Roll to a position where they can make a double.
Den er ikke så dum. Frys her.
Ja.
Ja, vi må skråfryse. For den her kan vi kan jo tappe den bak disse også.
Okay.
Det er ikke så dumt.
Looking at the freeze, looking at the tap.
Ja.
Jeg kunne godt tenke meg å ha hatt noe mer stein først da.
Ja, vi har ikke så mange stein igjen, så vi får... Jeg har hatt 1 sten.
Ja, jeg vet det da.
I wish I did understand Norwegian.
Ja.
Trying to tap it on an angle. Again, the difficulty for them. It's not the bump that's difficult. It's where the shooter, when you bump it on an angle to the right, as we're looking at, the shooter's going to roll slightly to the left, and again leave some sort of double for Wang. And you know, how many times will China miss the double opportunity, or how many times can they avoid leaving a double? Is the question Norway has to ask, and it's tough.
Gjennom. Okay. Da tar vi den andre vei. Ja.
This is over curling.
Nå tok jeg den over med vilje. Ja.
So now Norway's got a problem. It's difficult now. So Wang will hit that stone that's at the top of the 4-foot. She'll lie 4, and only 2 rocks to come for Norway. So the likelihood of them scoring 2 now, they have to make a double and a triple to get a deuce, assuming Wang makes her last. So
Yeah, but
they just need to score.
They could do with a mistake from Wang here, couldn't they?
A rollout would be nice, yes. That would give them an opportunity. But anything near the nose for China is pretty good.
So Betty Wang trying to make it as difficult as possible for Norway here.
Very nice. Norway has a slight out here. They can hit and roll right to there, exactly. Look at this mess over on sheet C.
Yeah, we've said that a few
Latvia
times.
with the hammer, and Japan needing to steal. They look like I don't know how many they're lying in there. It looks at least 1, perhaps 2. So a huge shot here for the Latvians. I think the best they can do is draw down to the face of that Japanese stone that's on the button and give up 1 and take the hammer home.
Yvette's only under immense pressure here.
Yvette's a great drawer, though. You know, I've said it a number of times, she's got a nice touch where she does struggle is with draw weight, but this needs to curl a lot. And this will be a steal of 2. Wow, big steal of 2 for Japan.
And how the tables have turned in that game again.
My goodness.
Japan were on the back foot the last couple of ends.
Take 2, steal 2 in 8 and 9, and right back in this game.
And keep it going, you're home and dry. Featured game though, China against Norway. We're in the skip stones in this intriguing encounter between these two. 6-3 at the moment, as you can see, 9th end.
Needs to stay at the back 4-foot. does not. And I don't think there's any way for Norway to make those two yellows count. I don't think. If it rolled too far, Wang's having a look at it right now.
传一下。现在好像已经是3个进了。
It's been a game of missed opportunities for Norway. They're staying lighthearted out there, but it's kind of a game of what could have been here.
3个进你就把这头球线给它挡上。
So if China is line 3, in fact, the yellow-red double combination on the left side of the center line, as we're looking at it, is a pretty easy shot for 1 if yellow is shot stone. But those 3 reds in front of the tee line are causing massive problems here for Norway.
Yeah, it was like a big red barrier to anything.
正常进力量就行。
正常气血。
I didn't see the call if Wang's just playing a guard or if she's playing a tap, but again, very little pressure here on this shot for Wang.
Her last stone, but the hard work I think has already been done.
Definitely. Oh, both, China did a good job of keeping things in control up front, and conversely, Norwegians actually did a decent job of not allowing a double, but I don't know how they score here, to be honest. There's this could be the final stone of our match. Looking at 4 in front of the tee line, and Rorvik's going to have to either come in off that red on the wings, or she has to draw to the side of the forefoot.
Up against it, that's for sure.
Definitely. You have to hit that so thinly. You only have to hit a quarter of a stone with backline weight. You can't throw any weight at it and expect to score.
De er så veldig bra, de røde.
Jeg er litt usikker. Det køler mye på slutten. Jeg har ikke noe tid til å være usikker.
Og så er det sperrer så mye.
Nei, den ser lettere ut. Vi tar det.
Du får ikke nok
Jeg må ha ganske vant, hektig vant. Jeg må liksom bare rulle inn
So I
i...
think hack weight is the call. Need to hit less than a quarter, have the shooter roll into the tee line. But I think, as we mentioned several times, that third end was the pivotal end. That hit for a potential 6 points, which she ended up only getting 1. And China's played very solidly after, as has Norway, in fact, but that was the one big opportunity Rorvik had in this game.
78% on her hits. Last stone of this 9th end. Will it be the last stone of this game?
It's close. Will not going off, and that'll be a steal of 3 for China, and that should do it. 6-point lead with a 6-point lead with 1 end to go, and
She gave it her best shot, did
she
Marianne
did.
Rorvik.
There's handshakes.
And realising that is just too high a mountain to climb, and China with the victory over Norway, but it was quite a battle, and the margin of victory didn't really reflect the game in the end. Final score, China 9, Norway 3, and China march on, Mike.
Yeah, great start, perfect start for Team China here at this Olympic qualification event. But they'll consider themselves lucky in this one. Well, the second half of this game, as the game tied up 4-3 as we play 7, and Wang with a chance to really seize control here in 7 with a hit for 2. But as this rock travels down the sheet, as Wang looks on anxiously, a missed opportunity as this rock just spins out of play, and China held to 1 there as they went into 8, and Norway up against it this entire end. You see the 2 stones at the top of the 4-foot. They were there right from the get-go. Leads rocks, and Norway unable to get anything done with those stones. And this forced Rorvik into a draw for 1, and little extra weight. Rock would not take the curl, and another steal of 1 for China as they took a 3-point lead into the 9th end. And in the 9th end, it was all China. Look at those 4 red rocks in the top of the rings. Rorvik with no choice here but to play an in-off against 3, and it's kind of a case of what may have been here in this matchup, with a big miss early in the game, a hit for 5, and unfortunately a big steal of 3 there for China. 9-3 win, not really reflecting how close these 2 teams played, but a perfect start for Team China through their first 3 matches.
And got the Christmas gift.
Here we go.
2, 1, go.
That was a tough game, Betty. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, but I think today we got the Christmas gift from the 3 ends and from the Norway, and they save us. We still alive, then we keep trying better, and we win the last. Yeah.
So after that 3rd end, did you think, thank goodness?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, we got a great big gift from there. It's so tough. I think this is our first game, play the afternoon game. I think we have a little problem with that. The players all think about a little slower and not quickly, and not to go in the game and so quick. So I think we need to figure out what's the problem with that. Mm-hmm.
Even though you got a little bit lucky in the 3rd end, you still had to keep your concentration because Norway were still pushing you all the way.
Yeah, I think today this is our first time against this team, and I think they play very well, and they give us so many pressure. And today I think we will make a lot of mistakes than 2 days ago. So I think today we just focus still in the game, and try back and try the weight and the eyes, the line, try everything. Then, yeah, we got back.
You got back. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. I think today we're really lucky on the 3rd end.
They were all over the Italians in this game, 9-3 win. And the other game, Japan is 1 up on Latvia playing the 10th end. Latvians have the hammer. And there's the updated standings board. China, of course, 3-0. Japan trying to join them with that 1-point lead. Germany had the bye here today, 2-1. Czechs move up to 2-2, and the rest of the field need some help here. Latvians still trying to win their 2nd game again in that matchup, still on the ice at this moment. So in our feature matchup, it was China escaping an opportunity there for hit for 6 here, and that big weight shot from Rorvik in the 3rd end by themselves for a 6-3 win.